Hello there, Leo. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you your monthly reading for March of 2022. So, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as we get started here, as always, I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck. That's my go-to deck. Stepping into your energy, I'm really feeling as though you're beginning the month with a much lighter, fun, fresh, airy type energy, okay? I feel like you're stepping into this really beautiful space, and I love it so much. You have the Sun card coming out with the Three of Cups, okay? So with this, I'm really feeling like you might have felt as though your energy was pretty scattered going into the end of last month, and now you are starting to redefine things, right? And you are starting to feel maybe a little bit more focused on maybe goals, focused in your energy, maybe not having your energy pulled into a million different directions, maybe some responsibilities or tasks have been taken off of your plate. And so you're finally in a space where you're able to really process your emotions, really focus on your path. And I really feel like the emotions that are going to be coming up for you, or maybe they've already come up for you and you've started to work on this path to forgiveness for yourself. I really feel like working on this self-forgiveness, you have allowed a path to begin to be cleared for you, right? I feel it's paving a way forward for you, Leo, in terms of where you have no place in this old version of you. You have began to forgive yourself for no longer wanting to be there, or like grieving this older version of you that allowed it, right? And so as you start to step into this light center in your heart, right? This heart centered, light, fun, right, jovial type energy that I'm feeling with this, I really feel like you might even be forgiving yourself for not meeting others' expectations, right? Maybe you were raised a certain way and taught certain things, and so you had maybe felt like you had let somebody down by removing yourself from a situation. So I feel as though you're stepping into an energy where you're realizing that these are like old, outdated beliefs in terms of what is working for you as you've began to expand and grow, and I love that so much. And so I feel like, this energy, when it comes in with that Three of Cups, you could be spending a lot of time with friends. I feel like hanging with the crew, hanging with the boys even, right? And so hanging with the guys. And so I feel like that is something that you might be doing, of course, this week, but I really feel like it's almost as if you are doing that, but then also taking a step back, redefining, prioritizing yourself outside of a friend group, right? Really getting in touch with who you are outside of that. So I feel like you could be embracing what makes you you, right? Your unique gifts, your unique qualities, really starting to observe what you feel you bring to the table in terms of social aspects, social scenes, getting in touch with how you feel in terms of where you might want to go on this path. Where is this path leading, right? As you forgive yourself, the path will become more and more clear, right? As it paves its way for you, I feel you will be more in touch with your own self, of what you want and what you don't want, and really be in touch with your own intuition. So I feel like it's less about fitting in, and you're realizing it's less about fitting in, and it's more about forging this new path, or forging your own path, right? And so that's beautiful energy, Leo, to sit in. Moving into the 6th through the 12th, we have the King of Swords with the 9 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So beautiful new beginning there with the Ace of Wands. Now, I feel as though it's almost like this feeling of like a rapture, right? Where you feel as though you have been whisked away by a tornado, like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, and you're in an entirely different space, right? Like you've been taken away from something. you've been totally removed from a situation, removed from a relationship, removed from a job situation, however that resonates for you. I feel as though you might have found yourself in a where you feel like you're in a totally different land, right? And I feel like this is a whole new landscape for you where it's like uncharted territory. Now, this is the uncharted territory of emotional lands that you have to navigate. Maybe it's an uncharted territory of like an actual like physical destination that you have to worry about. And so, really exploring the depths of yourself and your own emotions, right, will help you to navigate what's showing up for you in your external world, in your 3D world, right? So within your relationships or within your job situations and things like that. Now, there's an undertone here with that new endeavors, with that Ace of Wands, and I feel like it's really highlighting past lessons, right? So I feel like it's a message here for you that, listen, whatever you've been through in the past, you're totally prepared to take this on. You might have a little bit of fear. You might be a little bit worried or a little bit apprehensive even about navigating new territories, right? But you are prepared. You know what you need to do for this, right? That everything that you've been through has culminated into this, and you know what you need to do. So I feel like this comes in with an energy of like, you'll know without a question, without a doubt, you're going to feel secure in like making these moves or making these decisions, right? And that is so much the energy of that King of Swords, right? Where you're very much a leader, you're very trustworthy, and I feel like you are really going to have to sit in a space where you're going to be tough when it's necessary, right? And then understanding that sometimes things require you to be very kind. And now the thing about the King of Swords is the King of Swords has a tendency to maybe be a little bit aloof. So really kind of taking things in and not really showing a lot of emotion and things like that. Now, again, if that's happening, be mindful of, questioning yourself. Am I doing this out of a need to give this person or this situation space and time? Or am I doing this because I'm afraid of putting my heart out on the line or getting hurt or something like that? These are things that you should be asking yourself as you start to trudge up some of these emotions, right? And deal with some of these emotions. And so I feel that these are all really good things, really surveying the situation, right? And you're going to get out of the situation what you put into the situation. So just be mindful of that as you are responding to what's happening in your external world, okay? But it's beautiful, right? It's like when Dorothy, gets there, it doesn't look that great, and she's scared of all of the, the wicked witch and all of that. But these little munchkins, they're little helpers, they come out to help, right? So we have spirit that comes in to help us. We have that in our physical world. And what we need to do is find the magic, which is what Dorothy did, right? She went to Oz. She was looking for Oz, and she was looking for all the magic that surrounded that. And look how beautiful that was when she got there. And so there is beauty and magic that surrounds all of this. And I think that part of tapping into that is allowing yourself to feel things a little bit more deeply and get in touch with your emotions in a little bit more of a deeper aspect, because then when you're getting in touch with your emotions with others, that's going to happen on a deeper, more profound level, and that's what's going to help to tap you into more joy and more beauty and more love, right? And that's that uncharted territory. I think sometimes people can be uncomfortable when they start to feel things maybe that they haven't felt before, or in a long time. Maybe they haven't felt that in a long time. And so this is really a message to be open about that. And if you have fears, express your fears to the other person, the other party in this situation, okay? Moving into the 13th through the 19th, we have Two of Swords. We had lots of cards this week. King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and the Hermit. Okay, so what I'm really feeling with this, Leo, is you definitely are going to be achieving a positive result, right? We have that King of Pentacles there. There's some really great things available to you. Of course, it's going to take effort. It's going to take time, right? With that Knight of Pentacles, really going to have to put in some time and effort and energy into this, okay? The key here is to be open to allowing it, okay? And so I feel like this is a conscious choice that you're going to have to make, to be open, to choose to allow these things. And now when I'm talking about what you're going to be choosing to allow, I'm talking about choosing to allow things to unfold. We're talking about the pace of things. We're talking about what is unfolding, you know, how it's unfolding, when it's unfolding, all that, right? And so just be mindful that you are an active participant. You are a co-creator with the universe. You are a co-creator with all of your surroundings and your environment. And so just be mindful to what your energy is saying and what your mind is saying, and make sure that they're on the same page. If it's a yes, then it's a yes. If it's a no, then it's a no, right? And so, and make sure they match, right? If you can't be saying one thing and your energy is putting out a different, right? Or if you want something and you're not saying it and you're not acting on that, right? So just be mindful that if you have needs, communicate your needs. So I feel like there is a party that's involved with you that this person might have an air about them that they're the shit, and they feel like they're the shit. Like they feel like they're never wrong. And so this can be a little bit more complex to navigate some situations with this person. And I feel like you have a sense of that, and you feel like, okay, I see that, I can see that, and I feel like something's just a little bit off with that situation. I feel like this might be a week where you would see that really go to like the next level. I really feel like this could be a time in which you might see this person do something that's completely distasteful, leaves a bad taste in your mouth, right? Something to the effect of like, maybe you go out to dinner with this person and you realize that just because he had a disagreement with the waiter or waitress, that they're not going to tip this person, this you know, and you really disagree with that. I mean, just something really crazy off the wall, but you don't like it, right? It's like bad showmanship, and I feel like you see this like, it's like, whoa, this is like poor taste, right? I feel like you take a step back. It's almost like you had them on a pedestal, and then you had like their rating kind of went down a little bit. And so I think it's just something to kind of be mindful of, because again, it's all in the presentation, right? Could this person have been having a really bad day, or is it something that they do repeatedly? What are you seeing showing up? And did you have a conversation with this person about that? How did you feel in that moment? Were you embarrassed? Did you have a conversation with this person about how you felt in that moment? Like that kind of thing, right? And so make sure that you, again, say what you need to say. And, you know, if you have a certain pace that you'd like things to unfold, you may not have to have a conversation about that. I think that might unfold naturally at the pace that it's supposed to. But if you feel like things are going too fast, have that conversation. So, moving into the 20th through the 26th, Leo, we have Three of Wands with the Ten of Swords. And this is like that stick a fork in me, I'm done kind of card, right? And so we're talking about lessons, right? Now, I feel like with this is really like that uncharted territory coming up, right? This is an exploration. You've left the castle. You're ready to go out and see what else is outside of your comfort zone, right? And now I feel like this is stating where you're going, Leo. Like this has never been gone before, right? Like this is a place where you've never gone before. And so in saying that, you have an understanding that with this uncharted territory, this comes in with a need to explore a new way of being in terms of a new way of thinking, embracing a new way of thinking, right? So there's this element here where you might have to embrace like this trial and error phase of your life, right? Where you've never had these experiences before, maybe you don't know how to respond to these experiences. As you navigate some of these deeper emotions, you might want to respond differently as you stand in your power, right? And so allowing yourself the time and space and grace, right, to do the things that you need to do for yourself and to discover those aspects of yourself as you respond to things that are in your environment without placing judgment on it, like without you placing judgment on it and without someone in your external environment placing judgment on that, right? And so this is definitely requiring, again, a new way of thinking, and what's done before, what's been done before is not going to work here in this new uncharted territory, right? So it's about also letting go of those things that you've done in the past, that when you come into this new phase, it's just not going to work. Right? So you might find that you stick to a certain way of doing things or a certain way of handling things, and you might find right away that that is not going to work, and it's almost like you have to completely scrap it and start again, right? It's almost like a rebuild. And so just be patient with yourself as you do those things, as you embrace some of these new concepts in terms of knowing when to respond to things that are happening and when to have a conversation and how to have that conversation, right? And navigating that. I feel like, I really feel like navigating these waters, right? It's very emotional energy that's coming in with this. So I feel like just consider the situation very much a learning experience for you, right? We have people that come into our life, and some come in for a very short time, and some are there for a long time. And so understand that sometimes people show up for us, and even though they may not be the right fit, it's really great practice for us to practice growing into something different, right? And so when we have a new person show up for us, we can practice our new social skills in terms of how we communicate with somebody and see how that works. And even if that person doesn't stay with us for a long time, we can now, take from that the lesson that we have, like, hey, I was able to get from that how a dynamic would work if I was able to communicate openly about this, and that kind of thing. So really just consider everything like a learning experience, and kind of have fun with it, right? Don't be so serious when you're trying to have these conversations. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't be so hard on yourself, and understand that we're all learning and growing while we're here, okay? So that's what we're here for. And moving into the 27th through the 31st, we have the Judgment card with the Eight of Wands. And so with this one, I'm really feeling, Leo, like, I get this phrase, like, all's well that ends well, right? And so I feel like there's a tendency highlighted here for us. As time goes on, we have a tendency to forget some of the things that have happened in the past that weren't that great. And then we highlight the things that were really, really great, right? And so when we think about situations, maybe with exes and things like that, we don't always remember the bad things, but we remember the good things. I mean, unless they were really, really bad things, sometimes we do remember those things, right? So then, there's this need here to kind of look for the lesson in it all again. So this is just kind of being highlighted that maybe, there was something said, maybe there was something said that kind of clued you in to something that was going on in your current situation. I feel like this is all stemming from some sort of an email, a written communication of some sort, and it's kind of spiraling, like where you got triggered from that, and then as a result, things kind of started spiraling, right? And so I feel as though yes, it may bring things down to a level where you are like, man, I thought I was doing really well, and now I'm back to this level and I'm responding this way, and I'm really disappointed in myself or whatever. Or you thought that this person was this type of person and you were completely deceived and you were put off by that, and now you're reeling like, oh my gosh, how did I not see that, or something to that effect. Okay, this is okay. Everything will be okay. You still got to hear as a result of that, right? And so maybe this person came in and supported you for this length of time, and that's a really great thing. So look for the lesson in all of that. And then know moving forward what you can take from that in terms of new ventures. So overall advice, Leo, we have 3 of Swords coming out with 4 of Swords and King of Cups. So big advice really here is, I feel as though this is not a month for you, Leo, to be focused on the injustices of the world, right? No rehashing of that was unfair to me, I can't believe that happened to me, right? No sitting in a victim stance, right? We all have active roles in our lives. We all have lessons that we signed up for when we came in. And so, this is allowing yourself a space here now to go within, to grieve this old version of you, right? This version that you're now going to be letting go of, because this is a big leveling up for you, Leo, right? This is a huge shift for you now that you're stepping into. You could feel like the emotions that you've been feeling or that you're currently feeling, you could feel overwhelmed or inundated by that, right? This is very much an energy of like a dark night of the soul. And so understand that a lot of people are feeling that collectively right now, especially as we're stepping up into this new energy. Now, when you get into this new energy, some of that will completely shed for you, right? And once you do that, you'll feel so much better, right? But we have to be able to process these emotions, face our fears, and move past that hump, so to speak, before we can get to that leveling up. So understand that this is all purposeful. So externally, this could look like a lot of chaos. Understand that it's almost like a tornado, though, right? Like all of this chaos is going on maybe around you, but you are the eye of the storm. You're in the center of the tornado. There's no wind, nothing's happening. So you are able to settle your mind and close your eyes and focus on that deep peace that you hold within you and connect with your higher self. And you know exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it, okay? You know your next move. So trust that. Trust what's coming in for you. Trust when you see the signs. Trust when you feel those urges or gut feelings to do something, okay? Follow those. And I feel like this is really a time for you to go with the flow. Don't get so hard-headed about things. Don't get so super focused, hyper-focused on something. Turning out a certain way, because I feel like when you do that, it doesn't only just create resistance. I feel as though right now this is like such an energy that like big things can happen, that it can work out even better for you than you'd imagine. But I feel like there's shifts that can happen so quickly that as you do that, like a miracle can happen, right? Like I feel like big, like surprise type energy coming in with that, right? So as you just go with the flow and be open to what is showing up for you rather than try to hold tight or cling tight to this vision that you have, you're opening up space for spirit to show up with you for like the best, most miraculous, decisions and things that you're calling in for you for your life, right? So if you have decisions that you're making and you're surrendering after you make those decisions and not really knowing how it's going to show up for you, that's when spirit can come in and you could be totally surprised by the outcome, right? So It could be a time here for you, Leo, to really just tap into your creative energies, and that could be really good in terms of connecting with your intuitive gifts to help guide you on this path. But really good stuff here for you, Leo. I do so hope that this resonates for you. As always, if you know another Leo that's near and dear to your heart that would benefit from hearing this message, please don't hesitate to share that with them. So if you're interested in your own personal reading, though, I would love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up on Facebook in the Messenger, or at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com, or if you hit me up in the square site in the description box below to book, you can then message me with your details of your question, and I will contact you with a time. All right, so thank you so much for listening. I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Take care.